Find out, because we're going to finally get to see these teams match up. We're going to get an Inferno in this series. Can NiP dethrone Fnatic in this method? DDK, Sadikis, take us away.
All right, Ninjas in Pyjamas versus Fnatic. Get hyped in the arena here, guys. This is going to be an insane game between two world champion level teams. So much history between these guys. Kicking it off on Cash. We're jumping into the pistol right now. And we do have actually a smoke on Get Right, a couple flashes on Exist, some armor dot between the players, but it's going to be over the top here in middle for Fnatic, and the action kicks off already.
That mid control is so important, giving them the option to either go through the fence or get into A, which is exactly what they try and do, but Forest did get 2 before they got there, and now Get Right is making it a problem as well. Olaf will eventually catch Forest from A main, but Get Right still in behind Quad. Has been alive long enough to leave Olaf in a weird position where he's in a 1-on-4 and no HP to work with. Get Right times it perfectly, pops out, and the Ninjas will start off beautifully. 1-0 already on the CT side, and Fnatic's going to have to play so sharp and so wise, because I've always said it, T-side make or break you. If you don't execute on Cash, you cannot pug this map. You've got to have coordination, and they're going to have to be sharp from the very beginning of this half.
And I love already that we saw Forest just take down 2 players immediately there. That shut down the push, really. He got control of the bomb. Really good to see him stepping it up straight at the beginning of this matchup. Famas is all around. Markelelli on the 5-7, just saving for that that orb that he wants as soon as physically possible. And see him just spotting middle there. Meister with the scouts. Already trying to get himself a shot onto Markelelli in middle, but nothing coming just yet here for Fnatic, and they are quite dangerous with these Tech 9s. The CZ Deagle, and there it is. Olaf Meister picks up Markelelli. That's a one-man advantage. How are they going to build into this now? It's going to see if they can take more mid-control. Olaf Meister, great sniper player. We've got 2 players on the site there for NiP. And Fnatic still trying to work out where is the best avenue of attack here. And they have mid-control, so they can pretty much go wherever they please at this point.
Squeaky is such an annoying position because you can't overlook it. It's the only door in the game you can't actually knock out of place with either damage or a grenade, so you've got to constantly be playing an angle that doesn't allow yourself to be flashed. Exist is back by the fence. And just by being distracting, it's going to keep him occupied. And Olaf, another one with the scout, dropping Forest this time, and now they're going to go back to A. Similar to the first round, Exist does catch out JW as he tries to come through Squeaky, but Pronax, death from above as he climbs over top of the big red. And now they will plant the bomb. It's all on Freiburg and Get Right. Get Right's back towards Z in middle, and Crims is going to put him as the only one remaining as he takes down Freiburg. And Get Right's going to take the opportunity to, with 1 HP, save that from us. So already an eco for Fnatic. And that's perfect for them on Cash.
Huge turnaround, and especially having 4 players left alive. You see flash it. Oh, and he catches Get Right, and he's going to pick up the Famas. Look at that. 3 Famases picked up there. That is a massive turn on the value there. Fnatic now going to be darting ahead as NiP are forced to the saves. This is really, really crushing for NiP right now. And I mean, the options for them definitely look like going for a stack at this point. Something to that effect. I mean, they are actually going to be buying up pistol armor here. So they want to put the pressure right back on Fnatic. So perhaps not going to go for a stack and instead looking for some of these picks. Because you've got to know that Fnatic are going to feel more confident taking these fights now.
Absolutely. This time Olaf doesn't take that scout toward middle where he was so powerful with it before. And again, opening up middle, like I say, is so deadly on this map. Get Right tries to push up and get aggressive with that P250. He did have the smoke to cover him if he wanted to push inside the big garage, but not going to do it. He just sits down below in the cubby. Markelelli, meanwhile, working with Exist, trying to get shots off to JW, who's still wreaking havoc. Popping out, does get a dome in, but Exist actually gets the kill in the end. Meanwhile, though, Freiburg did dive to a grenade, so it still remains 4-on-4, and Get Right hasn't left his home. He just wants someone to walk out and not know that he's there and get that free kill, and hopefully a rifle to go with it. That would be the best possible scenario, but Fnatic hasn't committed either way. They're actually going back toward A main now.
They really need to figure out what's going on, do NiP at the moment. They are holding their positions, but a peek into A main, a peek into a B storage angle would be pretty good. We're seeing Fnatic slowly make their way up towards A with the bomb, and this is actually not so bad for NiP. They've got a strong setup going here. Markelelli on the peak, picked up that Famas from JW's body. As Exist is there on forklift. In they go now. NiP going to have to hit some really sick shots here. Markelelli in with the Famas, gets nothing there. Pronax and Crims take him down, and that's going to be a bomb plant there, and it should be a pretty easy cleanup of the remaining players. Olaf Meister finding nothing but heads with this scout, and Forest trying to see what he can get done. Not a whole lot, and Fnatic pick up another round with minimal damage done by the Ninjas.
So now NiP going to have to get back into this immediately, and are going to hold on one more round. They still don't have anything to work with in terms of money, so
Might see a stack here now.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if we do, but once they get the guns out, they're going to have to control mid and not allow Fnatic to work the map and force those rotations, or at least split up the defense. Now NiP, and you're right, they are going, well, it's a little bit actually more of a mid-presence. They go 2-2, Freiburg alone at B, but look at this, Michaelele's already up there, boosting over on JW. He's not going to look that deep into the corner, but Michaelele doesn't hit the shot right away. And that allows JW to respond. Now Pronax on Get Right, so mid is open. The map is fully in control of Fnatic. Forest and Exist are going to come back out of A main and realize that the Turnpike is likely the avenue of attack. Freiburg still over at B, but Fnatic are being very careful. They don't want to throw this game away by something careless, so they'll wait in middle and just see what else comes their way, and it's actually going to be Forest who shows up on the doorstep. And now Olafmeister tags up Exist, and JW closes out on the kill, so it's only on Freiburg.
And nothing much to be done here for the Ninjas, and Michaelele should have enough cash for the AWP, and we're going to have to put some focus on Michaelele now, because if he is going to be picking up this AWP, and he has the funds to do it, and being the dedicated AWP, okay, there it is. We need to see what kind of a play is going to come out of him, what kind of shots he's going to be connecting with here, because as Fifth Lauren pointed out, it's going to be absolutely crucial for him to perform well, and this is not one of his better maps. So Michaelele in this tournament had some shaky performances, and this is the time to step it up now against Fnatic. He's certainly going to have a lot of experience against this side.
Smoked off big garage though, so he doesn't see inward, although Get Right's gotten aggressive, pushed up through middle, and now he'll make a home for himself inside the vents. And that's good because it allows him to help out at B immediately if he's needed, and that's where Freiburg is playing alone because they want to favor over toward this A side. Forest now is actually going to push up middle as well, so they want to make an exchange. They're so close in the smoke, but Get Right from above does spot out JW, so good play by him because that looked really awkward for Forest.
Good covering fire there, and the mid presence now later in the round is starting to be detracted here for NiP. They've left Get Right there, and they've got, of course, Forest there also. As Michaelele has to turn his attention more towards the door now and the A main area here, as Fnatic are yet to really make a move, but so far Fnatic with that disadvantage. So sooner than later they're going to have to try to find a bit of an opening here. Middle seems pretty far on lock at the moment. They know they Get Right's in the vents or thereabouts, and that's it. Olafmeister was there waiting for the shot on him, but Get Right's going to get the better of him as well. So two players locked down by Get Right already. As Forrest looks for the shot there from White Box, it flushes to peek. He is going to go for the peek, and they're still trying to get an opening on the map, but they just cannot make it happen. Trying to force that play for the A split, and there it is. Michaelele connects with the head of Crims. Pronax finished off by Exist, and NiP back into the match now.
And not a moment too soon. 3 rounds already given up on cash. 4, 5, 6, all workable numbers for the T side.
Double AWP, JW and Olafmeister. This is about to get crazy in here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they play it. I expect Olaf should head directly toward middle, but there's options from A and B main to try and crack open a site.
White Box timing pick, I think, from JW. Actually, get the flick shot. Here it comes.
Back. He's the first one there, you're right. Good timing off the spawn, but he doesn't find anything. They smoke him off, and now Forest and Get Right will just sit around and see if anything comes through that. But meanwhile, Exist is going to shut down Pronax. Olaf's still over there at A main. He's pushed all the way over to the far right side, so he's a bit trapped, but that smoke will allow him to get back, grab that bomb, and they'll fall backwards. Although he's not done. He wants revenge on Exist right now.
So we might see a bit of a delayed mid-take here from Fnatic. Now, they're a man down. They've got no map control. NiP have strong presence all over the map. They see nothing really in B storage just yet. And having the AWPs in their hands, it's unlikely they're going to pop flash anyone into A main here. So Michaelele just rattling off shots there, keeping that pressure on A main, as JW is going to be looking for an opening here. Olafmeister there with the AWP as well. This is so dangerous right now. Flasher gets a kill into Get Right. There is the return though. They can't quite get the angle these AWPs can, Fnatic.
Oh, JW, nice shot. That opens up something at A. That double up setup, both on A main, looked like it might have had something unique about it, but Michaelele got the first one at least, so now they'll fall back. Now they want to try and head over toward B. Flush has been waiting there, but he's down to 10 HP. And Freiburg's in the site, Forest in the vents, he'll quickly pop out. They're going to try and smoke it off and rush it in right now, and I'm not sure where's Forest. He's going to pop down, he gets flashed beautifully. Crims completely aware of that play, and it's all on Freiburg behind the box. He's going to have to play his angles beautifully. They get across, they baited him out, there's one generator behind him, but Freiburg's going to get them all, and Michaelele's going to bail him out just in the nick of time because the flank was there. Great teamwork from NiP, and they come out with that round just so close.
You know, it's something that's insanely exciting from NiP, the DreamHack Winter 2014 Grand Finals against LDLC, was that somehow NiP found a way. It's like the NiP magic kept coming into play. They kept creating these amazing saves on all these rounds. So expect nothing less from them here as well, as they start to get more comfortable. Had a very shaky start, but now the double AWP is coming into play for them. Forest picking up the AWP, secondary AWP here for NiP, very typically, but very effective with it. And he's going to be on that B storage angle. Very, very strong, these double AWPs here. Titan making it quite famous on Cash, but in comes the B play onto this site. As Forest falls back onto that bomb site with Freiburg. Rotation starting to come in here. Can they hang on to this defense? Freiburg with a peek there. Does take down one, but Crims with a fast response. And in onto Forest so fast. Crims gets another one. That's the bomb down for JW as Michael Ellie comes in from the top. Trying to find himself a shot here. Has to wait for his teammates.
And that worked so well because they got mid-control with smokes and came through the vents as well, so there was no backstab from NiP, no quick rotation, and they were completely overwhelmed. That bomb went down so fast, and again, Crims, like you said, finding the entries today. And it's good to see that he's on form, and now Exist drops down. It's all Michael Ailey. He's going to drop down up close and personal with the no-scope.
He can go
onto
for the hold.
Pronax, and he's going to go for the hold. They are too far out, you're right.
He's going to get it.
Unbelievable. They are there, he does. Oh, wow, just barely in the end. He does hold on to it and went down as he completed the wire cut. Man, oh man, so close.
That's great communication from his teammates there, because Get Right knew where they were. Exactly, he knew to make the call to Michael Ellie. So just go for the hold, man. They're too far away. And that is the danger of that unsafe plant right there. That is, that's going to be a huge sigh of relief for them. They won't be running the double AWP again, though, as their money is not so good. Michael Ellie going to have his AWP, though, still from the last round. And oh, nice spam onto Get Right there. A little bit of damage. And we're going to see A main taken over by Fnatic here. Good mid-presence to start things off for NiP, though. As now we're going to start to see them disperse a little bit. And this is a common situation. You'll see that the teams will eventually, later into the round, go for a delayed take. When, you know, in NiP's position, they're going to start putting players back onto site so they have a more effective defense. Because the other team will have, in theory, later on into the round, more time to set up for some executes. So you don't want to get a bum rushed like that. So the answer is less mid-presence. Just looking for those picks at the moment. JW trying to work on what he can.
I'm looking for those set smokes from Fnatic. They aren't really in position to throw them onto A right now. They're going to rely on Olaf, actually, to just scout it out. But Michael Haley's there with the op immediately. If he were to come around that corner, they flash delay him, and he's not going to take that chance. Meanwhile, the rest of Fnatic still indecisive. They're going to try and get into middle, but Forrest and Get Right are still there. Get Right in the vents should pop out, but they've got the scope on him as they go for the boost above, but Forrest going to bail him out. He gets a double now as Crims finally responds, but Michael Haley does take down Olaf at A main, which means there's only 2 players left now for Fnatic, and they're going to try and rush it over to B. Fortunately, that's the right call because Freiburg's home alone, and the rotates are still coming around, still from middle, and Freiburg gets the first, playing over from the default stack so well, and Crims is a little bit hesitant as he falls back, but he gets a nice run to Exist to no avail as Freiburg continues to pop out, and he's got B on complete lock right now.
Oh yeah, that was a beautiful pop flash there off the roof. And 5-3 now. This is insanely close, and finally Fnatic are going to be pushed to an eco. So NiP should be able to pick up a pretty clean round right now, and it's really difficult for Fnatic in a spot like this because, you know, with a round like this, their money is such that they're not going to invest too hugely. You can see some pistols, maybe they can get some quick frags, but generally speaking, they're not going to be able to do too much. So the focus will be on just getting some players down, pressuring that economy, forcing NiP to make some drops in the following rounds. And we'll see if they can find some of these picks. But NiP have been so good on these team play setups and timing so far on these defenses, especially on mid. And Michael Ellie's been connecting.
Yeah, that mid is so important. Get Right this time's all the way over at B. He's not in the vents, so that means they are 1 man less if they choose to come through. And Fnatic's actually setting up for that right now. Crims and Pronax are there, and now they come through. They will face off against Forrest, who can't quite get the angle, but Get Right's got up there, and he will catch one. They continue to push forward, but they are just going to mop them up. Get Right with another one over at B, and Michael Ailey as well, so nothing to come from that pistol round whatsoever, and good play by NiP.
And it's amazing how versatile this new NiP lineup can be. Now, having that dedicated AWP on Michael Ellie, Forrest able to pick it up as and when he chooses to do so, and he's so effective with it. You know, you can see in those rounds he's able to like AWP from B storage, but just this dynamic, this versatility from them always is going to keep Fnatic guessing. They always have to do fact finding, see what's going on the defense of NiP. So going to see, as usual, Flusher going towards B storage here as he kind of goes for the lurk. But in comes the push in from A main, and JW ready for that. I think the flash did come in, but JW is so far back that he didn't get caught by that. So NiP now playing with a disadvantage. And something Fnatic can do here is just to wait a little bit, allow NiP to rotate.
That flash, or that smoke on A main does have a bit of a gap in it if they tried to peek it through. It's Pronax who's in that spot. He's not going to do it just yet, so 4-on-5 still resumes, and Fnatic is reevaluating their options as they spread back out after that first initial presence at A main. And now Flusha is going to take one more off the map in Freiburg. But GetRight's already there to rotate around and make up for that lost ground, but JW is going to catch Forest at middle, so they've got to split the sites 1-1 against all 5 Fnatic players, and it's GetRight who's going to come under fire because they're all heading in his direction. He's going to try and get out of there. I think actually, nope, now he's going to turn back. I thought he was going to go all the way to A, but now he's going to head up the ramp into Heaven. Exist still contending with Crims, and that's why he left off, because Crims likely made a call that there was one there, but now GetRight immediately taken down. Olaf with the kill. And Exist still has to deal with Crims, so he can't get over there and do anything about it, as he does at least get one. And that's probably all he's going to hope for, and just sit back and see if anyone wants to hunt him down.
Yeah, it's actually really nice that, well, from NiP's count, that Freiburg was pushing B storage. Obviously, he was actually alone in that effort because they had to have a couple guys on A main. Oh, sorry, on A, because of the presence of Fnatic was really rife there, and a guy on mid just to keep tabs. So Freiburg was pretty much alone, but they needed info. They needed to find out what was going on because they were two to a side. It's two to a side basically, and you can't have this situation where the T's can just pick and choose and get that 4-on-2 basically, because that's just going to be crushing. You want to try to find out what's going on, get the rotation started before the push comes in. Freiburg was looking for that, but Fnatic countered on that. Flusher in position to take him down on that push on B storage. Really smart plays, catching Freiburg off guard, and Fnatic storming the site. Really smart mid-round calls there from Pronax. And a 6-4 score. Really close match so far. Fnatic coming back in, but Orps on Michael Elliott, Orps on JW. What is going to happen this time?
Back to default. This time they'll get right all the way over at B, so just Forrest and Michael Ailey in middle. That smoke at Big Garage, and a lot of presence out towards Squeaky. Look at this, Exist is going to come under attack, and Michael Ailey smartly has already rotated around to cover off that angle from the door. There's 4 of them in there. Pronax is just lurking to make sure no one wraps around from B in behind them, and here they go into the site. Exist is going to make good work of the first. Michael Ailey gets the second, and Exist on with his second, as 3 of them have already dropped. JW is still trying to find that angle with the AWP. He does so, and that might give him a bit of an opportunity because Pronax has joined in with JW to come through from A main. They smoke off the backside of the site. They try and spam away through that wall to where GetRight and Exist are now both playing. And now they walk around the corner. Pronax into GetRight. They continue forward, but it's Exist who absolutely dominates the round. 4 kills for him, all with a FAMAS, and it's 7-4 now for NiP.
And I actually wonder if we'll eventually start seeing the auto sniper coming out from Exist. He does like to play that auto sniper from back by the quad boxes there on the A site sometimes. It's always pretty fun to see him handle that when the rushes hit the A main area. But 7-4, NiP taking control of this map now, much potentially to the surprise of many who typically NiP have had a weaker game on Cash. It's not typically been a great map for them. Either way, we're going to see, again, good mid presence from them. Pronax going in with a bit of pressure on B storage. Usually it'll be Flusher. It's good that they mix it up here because if it's always Flusher, that's a read that they can get. And Fnatic playing it slow right now. Forest actually going to catch a frag in middle. Crims looking for the entries.
That's a good start because GetRight's over at Checker trying to pop flash out, but it's only Pronax over there. Exist again looks like he's going to be the man that's going to come under attack.
Here we go, Michael Ellie. Going to whiff a shot there as they make their way in. He is very important right now, as that he is the only line of defense, the initial line of defense here onto this A bomb site. In come his teammates very quickly back into position at the back with the AWP. Michael Ellie with the peek doesn't connect the shot. It's Olafmeister who's going to rip him to shreds. That's a double actually from Michael Ellie there as GetRight comes up the ladder looking for the shots. Michael Ellie with a quick draw, but it's going to be GetRight who pulls off the last couple with a FAMAS, and that was chaotic, but in their chaos the ninjas thrive here. It was a great effort by Fnatic, but they are going to be trailing even more now.
Well, it was said very clearly before the match that Michael Ailey would have to be on the entire series, and right now he's showing that performance. 10 kills already on the board for him, only Olafmeister with more. And GetRight also showing off why he is such a renowned player in the franchise of Counter-Strike. As again, they go back to this default. This time, Get Right again falling over to B. He's been doing that more and more often, so less and less that he's trying to get inside vents. Forest is actually just going to sit back from sandbags and make sure they don't push through. They've only got one smoke out on Big Garage, so Michael would also catch them if they tried to do it. But it looks like A-Main has a
Now, one thing that Fnatic have been struggling to do is actually taking middle control. I don't think there's been a round where they've had solid middle control taken away from NiP. It's usually coming quite late into the rounds here, as we see NiP just clean this one up. But I would like to see much stronger middle contention and to push back NiP so they can make it more obscure what they're going for.
And in the early rounds, when it was back all the way back to the very start, the pistol round, the eco they got, it was mid-control that enabled them to win those.
Yep.
So you're right, back to basics. They've got to get in there, but it's been strong.
It has. They've tried. They have actually tried. They haven't done any executes. There are a bunch of executes you can do, and as you'd expect on the side of all these nades, very standard stuff to take it. But we haven't really seen quite that. It's usually just they're peeking in like player by player, trying to flash for each other. Just small little tactical plays between each other instead of a big effort to take it together. So I have to see if Fnatic will mix it in. If maybe they'll do a delayed middle take, or what their map control plays are going to start to look like here, because they need something. NiP are on 9 rounds to the 4 that Fnatic have now.
Again, smokes out in all the major choke points and entries. Big Garage, A-Main, B-Main, all covered off by NiP, but Pronax doesn't care. He's going to take down Forest.
He's trying to get the counter boost actually over the top there. Very aggressive move, but it's going to actually give Fnatic an advantage. Gerrit actually going to go through, going to back away in fact. Let's keep himself
and he flashes
alive.
off.
Now it's really key that Get Right keeps himself alive in this spot here, because if Get Right dies, they lose all
he's looking
information.
away.
Oh, that's huge. And there's 1 minute left now for Fnatic to decide what to do off the back of this. 5 of them against 3 for NiP.
And Exist pushed all the way up in Squeaky to at least know they're not at long, and Crims has actually fallen back, so that is the correct answer to that solution, but they spread out 3-1. It's all on Freiburg. You're dead right. They are coming through B-Main. Pronax with the bomb. JW, Flusha, Crims coming now to join them as well. And Freiburg's been strong in these situations before, but he's actually going to get aggressive. He caught them entirely off guard. He gets 2, not all 3, but it's efficient. He wins the exchange, and now the rotation comes around, and Exist actually gets Olafmeister, so it'll be a 2-on-2, but that means he's still lagging behind, and Michael Ailey's alone momentarily. He just misses out on Flusha as he crosses over. So they will get this bomb down. Bit of a misnade there, and Crims watching off on the vents. It won't matter because Exist is not coming from that angle at all, so that means they've got an opportunity to try and overwhelm on Flusha, but Crims is wise to the fact that they aren't there. The call's been made. Michael Ailey still not able to hit the shot. Exist gonna get smoked off. Crims gonna take him down, and Michael Ailey says, I'm out of here, screw this. I'm saving my gun. Although he might just look for an exit before he trails off.
That was really, really huge damage there. But the thing is that Fnatic got the initial advantage off of a risky play for us going over the top very quickly, and Fnatic just caught him and just built on that, because it was smart of them to try to make more frags happen on middle, because typically part of the reason why the mid defense has been strong is because they've kind of had this triangle of action going, like Get Right around vents, Forest a bit closer, got a player further back, so they always can support each other. We saw, for example, how Forest was creeping up, and then Get Right had him covered, but losing him so early definitely weakened their mid dynamics. So very smart of Fnatic to capitalize on that. They pull out a 5th round now, and it's looking much more respectable. And NiP on this last round still got all the weapons, all the nades. Let's see if Fnatic can break them once again.
And Get Right this time does head back up into the vents in middle, so back to the original strategy.
Wow.
Exist, well played, catches out Olaf, but Crims goes right back into him through the squeaky door. That evens things up. Michael Ailey will go back over and cover off on A. So Forest and Get Right to leave it, or pardon me, to hold middle. Smoke another one out in Big Garage just to lay Fnatic a little bit more, and Pronax actually all the way back towards spawn, just waiting for his teammates to decide, all right, where's the opportunity going to come? Where are we going to head, guys? There's still a minute to work with, so they've got lots of time to decide.
And they do have a few nades, so if they know all the nades for middle, this could be a really strong take, because NiP, if they lose a man on an attempt at the defense here, then Fnatic have so much control of where to go, and they will always have the advantage. So they're going to go for this mid play. It's so smart from Fnatic. Get Right going to try to shut it down. Does take down Flusha. Bomb trying to get through, but Get Right still alive. JW takes down Michael Ailey over towards A, and NiP don't know which way to turn at this point. Bomb's not being spotted. Another kill coming in from JW onto Forest, and can he get another? Not quite. Freiburg to shut him down on the rotation, but it's a 2-on-2 with that bomb soon to get planted here as they smoke off these ninjas.
But they got to watch the back angle because Get Right's coming in from a flank. They planted it for A-Main as well, so he should have good positioning, and Freiburg's already taken down Crims, so Pronax is going to have to play with the utmost awareness and brilliance, because he's going to get pinched. He does get right, so he's aware of the first one, and now he knows exactly where Freiburg's going to be coming from, so the job becomes a lot easier for him. He's Molotov'd it off. He's going to have to force him out on the front side. He's going to bob it out.
Oh, nice.
And Pronax, so smart, gets them both, and they get 6 rounds in the first half. 9-6. Fnatic looking extremely good T-side.
And Pronax is like the traffic controller there, throwing down the Molotov, forcing Freiburg to run around. He was just calling the shots there, and 9-6, that's a great recovery from Fnatic. But that said, I am impressed by NiP's performance on the CT side there. They looked much stronger than I've ever seen them on Cash before. They've definitely had some better results recently, online at least, that I've seen. But generally online, LAN, 2 different worlds. So it's good to see that they're able to actually make a strong showing there. Michael is hitting his shots when it counts, and Fnatic are not saying die ever. So looking really good this matchup right now. I'm so excited to see how this second half is going to go. But this is a CT-sided map if you are a bit new to Counter-Strike here. It's definitely easier to pick up those defensive rounds on Cash. So Fnatic did a good job getting themselves 6. And NiP, are they going to be able to match that?
Well, that's what they're going to have to do, of course. They are a little more known for their T side, but again, this is Cash. They're going to have to be so sharp. We didn't see a lot of early smoke executions come out from Fnatic. We made mention of that. There wasn't any smokes over on A when they were more playing a pick game.
Yep.
Whereas if NiP can utilize those smokes correctly, covering off vents as they enter middle, getting back toward the truck side of A when they come in, it could be an advantage to them. But we'll see how Fnatic's defense play it, because if they play it aggressively or push up through those smokes, it doesn't change anything because the angles are very much in the favor of the CTs.
Yeah, NiP, yeah. I mean, the thing is with Fnatic and NiP, they both respect each other's individual skill, and neither of them are actually afraid to just go for these angels. You'll see some teams be a little bit more shy against these 2 lineups, but they are just so damn good on these shots. Like, you can see it, every single player is like showing up right now to hit these shots, and we're going to go into the second half here, and I'll be curious to see how NiP decide to.
The frag distribution on both teams, by the way, speaking of every player showing up, is pretty much dead even, but it's Flusha again who sits on the bottom for Fnatic. Not common to see him there, and it's been a pretty standard routine this tournament, so he's got to come online at some point. And
the T-House is often where he can do some really sick damage and catching rotating players, being the lurker of the team. Either way, though, we are going to be jumping into the pistol here. NiP versus Fnatic, second half. NiP with an advantage, but it is a CT-sided map. Fnatic looking to make this CT side start well for them. And NiP with a tentative start. 3 men actually at the back of A. Very interesting, very unorthodox there from Fnatic.
Very much so, but I'm not sure that the Ninjas are going to head that direction. With Michael Lilly and Get Right scouting over toward B, it looks like they actually want to try in through middle and go to the vents because they've smoked it off so they can't be seen in doing so. And here they come. They're going to pour through, and it's only Olafmeister who's there because JW actually rotated out early. He does get back to heaven before they get all the way in. But here they come flooding through. Fnatic trying to get one with the form of Olafmeister. He does take down Get Right, but JW's already fallen to Michael Haley in the meantime, so the bomb plant comes in. Exist on 6 HP, but it is still a 4-on-4, and the retake is going to have to be brilliant from Fnatic. They're all there. They're all setting up, and it looks like Pronax is going to come through the vents while the others will all come from the CT side, 2 from above. Olaf, as we see, trying to get in through the standard connector.
They're all stuck on the site, though. This is actually could turn out quite well for Fnatic, but they can't get in. Can't get even close to the bomb site as Crims comes in. He's got the kit, but it will mean nothing. Ninjas in Pyjamas pick up the pistol, and that's going to set them down on 10 rounds. And they're going to be around 12 before Fnatic can even challenge them here.
And here's where a stack could really play wonders for Fnatic. If they guess right and win the eco round, it would get them right back into this match, but NiP's going to have to be careful they don't meet that. If they don't, we go forward, and they actually have a great chance at the end of this match.
Yeah,
so
respect the Olafmeister scout. That's all I've got to say. He's been hitting some really crazy stuff so far with that scout. And they're going to go over the top here a little bit. With one player, just to spot. Where is Olafmeister at the moment? He is over by quad on A side, alone. Looking for the jump shots. Misses the tag. There it is. The jump shot misses the shot, though. It's going to get very, very hairy very quickly here for Fnatic.
Smartly forced him out of the corner with the fire as well, so he switches to the pistol as Crims comes around with that 5-7, gets forced, Exist responds, but they're trading evenly. Not anymore. Exist and Freiberg give them the advantage, and Get Right comes around from middle. A little more bullets than I think he expected to use, but does get the kill in the end before Flusha takes him down with that CZ, so Flusha all that remains, but there's only 2 ninjas still up, so this is at least a good eco regardless of how you look at it.
12 bullets, that's all he's got in the chamber. Unless he picks something else, that's all he has to work with. That's a nice grenade. Significant damage done. Both players really low. CZ could work, but no. Exist on top of the red container. We'll take him down. And that's another round for NiP. Good damage done, though, by Fnatic.
Freiberg was really smart to just sit there and tank that nade. He had the HP to do it, and by not moving, I believe it was JW, was it? I'm sorry. I didn't think that he was still in the backside, because if he had to run away from it, he had a shot on him as he exited. So very smart by Freiberg to just hold his ground. Michael already holding onto that pistol, looking to get the op out as early as possible, as always.
All right, so 3 men on mid and actually 2 on B, so looking like a lot of presence here, close range for them. Somewhat of a stack, looking just for the engagements with these pistols, but you can see that NiP, they chose middle. They know they've got some sick advantages here with those rifles against the pistols, so it's going to clean up a couple players. And at this point, Fnatic, the best they can really hope for is to try to like isolate some people and maybe pick up some weapons, make their life a little bit difficult. But you can see NiP, they don't want to give away a single kill here, but look at this. We do have JW creeping up close now. You know what I mean? Trying to make something happen.
Michael Ailey's at least covering the angle, but Freiberg's just above him. This could be interesting if Michael Ailey just decides, it's been long enough, no one's there, and falls off it too soon. Meanwhile, Exist, the first with an 8. Oh my goodness, Michael Ailey pops out 1 bullet right to the dome of JW, and now they're going to go for an execute onto B because Flush is all that's left, and he's fallen back through middle. Another easy round coming for NiP. So it's going to be 12-6, only 4 to go.
That is hilarious.
No comment. I plead the 5th, as Flusha does take down Get Right.
Just Flusha things, am I right? Awesome stuff here. So Flusha actually going to pick up a kill there. Not much more to be done here, but the buy is going to be following for Fnatic, and it's going to be really interesting to see what they can come out here with. I mean, NiP, they have all sorts of ways to approach the next round. They can go for a really fast play if they anticipate that there's going to be an AWP coming in onto A. You know, it really depends on how they read the cash game of Fnatic. And to be honest, I'm actually surprised that in this series that we're getting a cash, because again, like I said before, NiP have never really been like a huge team for cash.
Not at all.
In fact, they've had problems with it in the past. I mean, obviously now they have Michael Ailey, so that is the difference. But yeah, it does seem like they've been doing their research here. So 4 rifles there for Fnatic. No AWP for them. Forest is actually AWPing here. Going to be over the top here. Good timing. Looking for the shot, but a wall of smokes is going to deny him any clean angles just yet.
Still tries though. He'll just wait it out. Olaf Meister is off to his right. JW up toward the sandbags. That wall of smoke though finally just now goes away, and Forrest looking for the angle. Still can't find it. They haven't peeked out, and when they do, it's from the off angle. He catch out. JW takes him down, and now JW's going to get Exist as well, so things looking very good now for Fnatic as they have the guns out on the CT side. Get Right alone at B, trying to just find a pick. Crims is actually pushed up behind the box, and they're going to head directly toward him, so Crims could be in a great spot right now to take them down, and as soon as that expires, Flusha's back from connector to finish off that angle.
Really nice stuff from Fnatic so far. Can Get Right find an opening here, just punch a hole in the site. There's a really nasty position from Crims there. He's going to line up. They're going to be both exposed, and he gets both players with the spray down. Freiberg is there on B storage as well. But with 5 players left to take down, it's going to be an easy cleanup for Fnatic as Flusha picks up the last kill. And that middle play, so key there. Excellent work there from those mid players of Fnatic as they shut it down and bring themselves on 7 rounds to the 12 of NiP now. And middle control is so important on this map. It gives you so many options, either to hit B or A. As soon as the CTs lose it, it's just, you get your response time gets hurt dramatically on your rotation. So it's always a big point of contention for these teams.
And Olaf's going to press it again right now. Exist has gone for that boost, and Olaf actually gave himself away with that nade, so they know he's pushed up. Exist should pop out immediately onto him, but look at JW. He's still back at Z right now. Could easily get a shot if he carelessly walks over. Get Right, meanwhile, not the greatest nade I've ever seen thrown at him, but trying to make noise over at B. Pull Crims in that direction.
Get-Right's actually really good at the B pressures on the solo plays. That is kind of his job as the lurker, but you've got to also factor in that if you always see a lurker on one spot, then it might be that he's there because he's wanting to catch rotation, which might indicate that the play's going towards A. This is why we saw Pronex and Flusher on Fnatic mixing that up.
It looks like they're setting up actually for a B take because they've smoked off the backside of middle. I thought they might run to vents. Forrest, though, comes out into A to make noise. He forces Olaf back on the rotation, but there's still 2 in the B site. The Ninjas still at least aren't happy with the situation because they haven't pushed forward at all. Get Right this time is going to check that angle where Exist was last round. They're not going to get fooled by that twice, but there's no one home. Crims is backed by Generator.
Michaelele is going very aggressive, completely alone in middle, out there exposed with the AWP, but his teammates are pushing into the site. He's there to catch the rotations. Freiburg, great kill onto Flusher on the bomb site. Olafmeister with 2. That is massive now. So 2-on-2 with the bomb yet to be planted. That's going to buy key time for the players of Fnatic to rotate, but Michaelele with another one takes down JW, and Pronax now, the in-game leader for Fnatic, is all on his shoulders now in this round, and it's a mighty task to be tackled here for him.
He did it on the T side, defending that bomb, but now he has to do it in reverse against 2 NiP players, and
this round is worth 2 for both teams as well.
Yeah, economy-wise, not looking strong. Whoever wins it, I mean, a great position. Next one, NiP still in the driver's seat. That bomb continues to tick. They've got the crossfire set. They know exactly where he is. Although he's playing his angles quite well. He might isolate. No, Exist gonna pop out at the right time. Takes him down. And NiP now, 1 more on the board. And like you say, full advantage as, well, Fnatic's gonna force, actually. They go straight for the FAMASas out.
And that was like excellent discipline there from NiP as well, you know. Playing that by the book, that 2-on-1. Pronex kept trying to bait out the guy from B storage to get that quick 1-on-1, but he just wouldn't give. It is very, very patient play from them. But yeah, the FAMASas, no AWP in sight for Fnatic. Their money's been stretched so far in these rounds. NiP in the driving seat right now. Michaelele looking for the pick. Shut down by the smokes here, so Fnatic able to put them at arm's length for now. But Crims with that FAMAS, he's got a hell of a lot of work to do should they decide to actually push into the B event area. And giving up middle now because Fnatic, they know that they're outgunned there. If NiP want to take middle, it's theirs at this point, as they have so many advantages with the nades and the weapons. And that's now why Fnatic avoided that, but that's going to make their life more difficult.
And they still look to favor B just a bit, but they have realized now that they can get through middle. Exist is already up on Cubby. Michaelele's out. Pronax, though, will get Forrest, who was working alone at A, to at least make some noise and lurk in that direction. They're going to go through these vents. Actually, Michaelele's pushed all the way past Hut in mid, but Existence will now go through. Crims is going to be waiting, gets the first, looking for the second. Michaelele has to be brilliant as he peeks out, and he is. He gets him down. The rotation's coming around. Freiburg and Get Right need to get inside the site. They do so, but Flush is still waiting in the backside. He should be able to get one. Oh, he tries to adjust his aim on the first, does actually manage to collect the second. And Michaelele now faced with another opponent in JW who tries to double back and catch them out, and it's all on him because the rest of his teammates have dissolved and the bombs just dropped back toward the generators, so it fell apart for NiP quite quickly. He does get the first, and JW immediately takes him down in response. 13-8, and if you look closely at the money, there wasn't much left in the wallets of NiP, so this is actually a really good chance for Fnatic to close it up entirely.
And also a really good frag there from Flusher as well on the site. If you hadn't actually gotten that frag, that would be bomb down, and that's going to be a hugely different round. So all the players doing just exactly the roles they need to do to secure that one, and Fnatic now have an AWP picked up thanks to the kill on Michaelele, and that's going to be handed off to JW. And it's pistols here for NiP, and they're so close to winning this match that this is Fnatic's real chance to bring some momentum, bring some money to the table, to get themselves back in this match, to tie things up, maybe even win this one. In goes the play now. JW with the kill through the flash. In comes more frags from JW as he's blind. Great work from him. Another one straight to the head there. Finally goes down, but Pronax has got his back. Going to pick up that AWP, and it's going to find the hands of JW once again.
The presence of JW, never to be underestimated. Peeks out fearlessly and absolutely shuts them down. Of course, we're working with pistols. They'll go back to guns now, but it's only going to be Galils for both Get Right and Freiburg. At least Michaelele's got the AWP to work with. We'll see if he can make anything of it, as it's JW against him. And
They could actually push them to an eco if they win this. So NiP, if they win this round, it's eco city for Fnatic. So Fnatic cannot afford to give this away.
Michael boosted up and looking toward middle, but there's actually 3 Fnatic players out there. Krims, Olaf, Meister, and Flusha. They haven't found him just yet.
Oh my God.
Meanwhile, GetRight's gotten man mode and walked inside B and caught out JW entirely. That's the opt down on the Fnatic side. We'll see if they can make a play off of that. As Flusha's also down now on 19 HP, so things looking good at the start of the round now for the Ninjas, but they've still got Pronax pushed up in A main. Forrest is still working out toward long. There it is. Michael finally gets the kill he waited so patiently for over top of middle. And it's quickly deteriorating for the defensive side. Pronax, Krims, Flusha have to spread themselves out evenly. Krims is smartly in the vent, though. He could rotate quickly back over to B. If that's where they choose to go, he could make something happen. He's going to get the first on Exist as they challenge him. Forrest is going to follow up. He's got to make a decision which way he wants to look. He's going to get the second. He drops out with the USP. He's got GetRight right in front of him. He's going to get him as well. And Flusha got Freiburg. So that, oh, what a defensive position Vent can be. Krims all by himself pretty much wins that round, and Flusha's going to close out on Michael, so great recovery from Fnatic.
Really good round from Krims, but Pronax in that round actually gave them the key information for Krims to actually understand what was going to happen ahead of time there. Because Pronax was actually pushed deep into A main. And so the fact that like, no one's seeing anything on A or B, but he's so deep on A main, he can basically make the call there and say, guys, they're gonna go for that B split right now. So Krims knew what was gonna happen ahead of time, but what a sick display there, that triple kill securing the round. Fnatic looking like they're gonna bring this one back now, staving off the eco situation by winning, and in fact pushing the Ninjas onto an eco themselves with those pistols. And once again, looks like they want to hit the A site. And also, well, hold that thought, we've got a push coming in, and look at the drive-by from GetRight with that Tech 9. Fnatic cannot afford to take losses here.
They've got the sight, but they don't have any smokes to work with, and because of that, they're just going to annihilate them with the rifles. Had they been able to smoke them off, they could have got that bomb down. But in the end, it's all for naught. Fnatic are only 2 rounds back on NiP now. That lead they had is very, very quickly evaporated, and that's unfortunate because, as we said, this was the map they had the best chance on, and going on Inferno, you want to be up 1-0, hands down for NiP.
I saw a really awesome play from GetRight, which looks like something you see from like a Silver game in matchmaking, where you just walk through the smoke just on B, but you would never ever expect that to happen, and he got a free kill because of it, and that's how NiP got an advantage there. But back into this round, we got the more of a standard setup coming in here, putting Michael over the top, but here comes the counter boost.
Peekaboo, he's going to go up. Michael right there. Is he going to catch him? Throws that nade out. He knows he's there. He drops down. He gets him with a quick dome on the way out, but finally Exist will go back into JW. Actually, that was interesting. I saw the headshot animation. Apparently it went through the top of the box, so it only did 4 damage to Michael. That's quite interesting. I thought it would have done a whole lot more than that, but 1 man down on the Fnatic side. NiP actually get the better of that. Michael back up. They've boosted him above again, so he's still going to try and get mid-presence.
That's why he's on the team as well, to take those crazy shots, because those angles are really difficult. You need these ridiculous flick shots, which we've seen out of him from that angle. So, again, mid-presence is a bit of a question mark here for NiP at the moment. Fnatic still have a good hold of it. And look at this, once again, Pronax, can he be this key player to shut down the round? There's one frag, he finds a second one. 3rd player spotted. Can he hold him off for a teammate to come in to help him out? Krims gonna take down Forrest on Squeaky. Prematurely, Fnatic shut down the round. Ninjas in Pyjamas cannot bring about the play that they wanted. Fnatic in too fast, and that is very close to a tied game now. 13-12, Fnatic bringing it back in style.
And they've gone quiet in certain positions. Forrest and GetRight haven't done much at all in this half. Neither has Freiburg, really. It's been all Existence that's been finding the money shots, and that's not enough. They've got to get someone else in there with them if they want to make anything of this. We do have a brief pause. Not sure what the issue is. We can just see Forrest right now adjusting something. I'm not sure if he's got a mouse issue or what, but actually going to go for his nicotine high, see if he can motivate himself differently.
Get the snooze in there. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, NiP right now, they were feeling so good. They were looking so good. But they've been stuck on 13 rounds for quite some time. Fnatic have been doing an amazing job bringing themselves back into this game at the moment. So they've got to be trying to assess what they want to do here, what they want to actually switch up. And again, actually, likewise with Fnatic on their T side, NiP haven't been contesting middle hugely. We've seen Michael actually putting pressure in by himself, but we haven't seen a big movement as a team to get that under control, just take it straight away from Fnatic. And Fnatic, I think, actually don't have as strong setups on middle as NiP did. So,
no, not at all.
So it could actually be a really nice opening for them as a default round to allow them to build into something else.
And they're actually going to go 3 toward B right now. This is interesting as they try and get aggressive. They'll boost one up, so they're actually, rather than run through mid and run the risk of getting picked off, they're just going to boost Olaf inside the vents from the B side. So they will have that mid presence from a different approach. Flush has taken a good amount of damage. He's down to 24 already, and he's got GetRight just outside the door lurking. He tries to bounce a flash out, but GetRight's there. He knows where that came from. He knows he's over on the back side of the site. Crims is actually there with them, though, as they'll double up on that angle. And actually, did they just go for that skybox boost? They absolutely pulled it off as they took down the bomb inside Toxic. Well played from Fnatic. We've seen that from them before. Such brilliance right there.
And Fnatic are all over middle right now. They've got an amazing amount of presence there. The wall of smokes was setting up for the B split, but once again, NiP are being shut down before they can really get started. So now it's all about finding the shots, finding the skill here as far as it's over the top. Freiburg able to shut down Pronax. That's a 2-on-3 now with Flusher and Crims critically low. We'll have to see if they can save this one now as the bomb is locked down. There's 30 seconds left to recover that or find the frags, and Crims is the man there, ready to deal the damage, finds the angle, sees the second player, gets traded upon, but still, this is a very good situation for Fnatic because Forest simply doesn't have enough time here to make a good decision. Has to just go for a fast play. They know it. 15 seconds to go. No choice, really.
Interesting that he doubled back. I thought he might just book it over to A, but he's got them split up, so there is a chance if he can win the one-on-one. He's rushing in, though. He's not going to check his angles. He goes straight for the plan, and Olaf's going to walk around and make him pay for that. So we are at a tie game, 13-13. Fnatic looking unchallenged in the latter half of the match, and
not getting that bomb plant is a massive deal as well, because if you look at the money situation, they're all around 3,800 to the 3,400 to the 3,800 range. That extra $800 all around would have made a massive difference in Naves, the ability to actually potentially get an AWP on the go. I think that's one of the players at 4K. So now they have to go for a save instead. That's going to put Fnatic ahead now and also allow them to build some extra money for comfort. And Fnatic, they've taken control of the match. We'll have to see now if Fnatic can keep the ball rolling, though. They've actually been putting a lot of players here towards B and towards the middle, just leaving JW completely solo on A. We haven't seen much in the way of A plays coming out of NiP to try to exploit JW.
Not at all. And the North American style of this is get those set smokes from long. They haven't been doing that either. They will smoke off and try and run in and overwhelm JW, but he's not going to have any of it as he's got the first with the op, the second with the CZ. He's going to switch it back over, but GetRight jumps across and rains down on him. But Crims immediately comes around, and that's Forest to drop now as well. The bomb's still not planted. And Exist late to the party as he now comes around from A main.
GetRight, though, he could actually blow up this round for Fnatic if they're not careful. And AWP is definitely a good comeback mechanic in this game as he scans for an angle. Look at this, though, Fnatic. They are waiting for the plant to go down before they are going to go in for the push. As soon as the plant goes down, that eliminates where one player has to be. So not showing themselves prematurely. Now they're going to hit the plant, and now they're going to move. There are the grenades going over. They know there's someone's on the bomb site and exactly where it's planted, on the angle, but GetRight hits the shot onto Olafmeister. GetRight, not the expected player to be handling the AWP for this team, but can he hit the shots? Going to whiff that one. Pulls out the Tech 9, and Fnatic still bearing down on their position here. Trying to take it slow, methodical, use the team play here. Covering for each other, but GetRight. There it is, another frag from the back of the site. 2-on-1 now. Flusher going to go close for the charge, but GetRight with 3 frags. Great 1 versus 3 clutch, and they are ecstatic right now. GetRight, the man, has pulled them out of a very desperate place, and now NiP take one slight edge, 1 round, 14-13 against Fnatic, who are not looking amazing on the cash here, but they will be able to feel the bite.
And
Exist
played that extremely well too, because he just didn't peek. He didn't want to show off where he was. He let GetRight do his thing, and by staying alive, even if they got him, the time was so low, he would have been able to hold that. So brilliance from GetRight pulls them back. They're 2 away from the GG. Had they lost that one, I don't know if it would have been possible, but now they've got a chance at it. GetRight back over to his standard position at B early on in the round. They've changed things up on the defense. JW, nice shot at middle. That drops Michael as he tried to go up and over. But they've got 2 over toward A this time. Olaf and Pronax in that position, so they're trying to make up for what went wrong in the previous round. GetRight flashed off, has to fall back in those B tunnels.
Forrest is actually trying to AWP himself into a pick onto the A site here, and there's lots of angles to worry about, and you can see that Pronax is actually helping out a little bit, and he was waiting in this angle behind the smoke, and he's playing it quite safe at the moment, hoping that perhaps a Fnatic player will peek onto him instead, and maybe they can catch this jump spot. There it is. Oh, doesn't quite hit the shot though. Very close. You don't want to mess with this man's reactions, especially with that AWP. But that spot is very key now. We're going to start seeing the rotation. We do have players that are starting to float over, but still actually a 3-on-2 here. Fnatic down on the numbers, able to hit the first frag defensively. Olofmeister coming into play as well, but Forest has got the back of Freiburg, and that's going to be a 2-on-3 now. Get right lurking around as ever, but JW to take Found Forest. Can Get Right do this again? Absolutely not. Crims takes him down.
Picked off at the worst possible time because Get Right down and it changes attention away at the exact second he got peeked from mid, so it falls apart. We're back to 14-14 and back to Pistols over on NiP's side, although they do have enough they could force out onto Galils. I think they're going to save and try and just force the overtime at this point. That's all nope, they do force. There it is, a late force, a late call. They decide to go with it, and Michael Ailey still got his op to work with, so that's going to help them a lot.
And he's going to go for the quick flick shot on the white box. Does get slowed down a little bit by getting tagged through the little door there, but yeah, as you said, that AWP is basically the ability for him to buy that. I think is
this is the
makes
match
a difference
then,
to the call.
If they force here, this is the match. Might be the match for our stream as well. We get right back into it. So
they're just holding defensively here, NiP, and you know, Fnatic have shown the propensity to be a little bit aggressive, especially in A main with Pronax. So just holding tight here, 14-14. This couldn't get any closer at this point.
They're going to go for a late boost on NiP's side. Michael Ailey's getting put up there right now from Exist. So we'll see if he can find something this time. JW still holding that angle over at B. Michael Ailey still scared to walk all the way over. Flush is staring in that direction. Crims is also pushed up on the spools. But if Michael Ailey can find one, it would be perfect for NiP to start things off. As I said, their economy situation is that this is pretty much the match.
If Michael Ailey can get the pick into middle at this point, then that means that the A push that they could go for is that much stronger, because that's a player that's not going to be able to rotate there. It's just going to be two players to deal with the damage straight away. But he can't find it. They're not giving it to him, but he's going to go straight around the white box. Michael Ailey coming in on the flank here as Pronax gets eliminated. NiP storming onto the bomb site. Olofmeister with the M4 gets taken down, and NiP now with a man advantage. Flusher and JW have to try to save this. 2-on-2 now thanks to Flusher, but the bomb goes down here for NiP. And we've got a retake situation. JW going down to Freiburg. Flusher, can he get the save? Switching out the weapon, pulls out the elb. Oh my goodness, takes the shot onto Exist. 1-on-1, switches up again. The peak from Freiburg. And that's going to be it. NiP will pull out the round. And my God, the tension in these rounds is absolutely ridiculous. It goes so close, down to the wire. 15-14, NiP with that force by pull it out.
And now all they have to do is just execute to perfection and walk away with this, because it's only a Mag 7 for Olofmeister and an M4 for JW. The rest of them have gone for pistols. 5-7 Pronax, 5-7 Crims, and a CZ for Flusha against the full weaponry of NiP. So this is looking very good for them to start off the Swedish battle 1-0 and move on to Inferno. Exist spamming away at A main. Got Forest out toward long if they choose to push, and again they're going for that two-man defense over on the A side as Olof, who had been playing in the vents previously at the B side, has joined Pronax, and actually they're going to boost up above with that shotgun. This could be interesting if they do come through, because it does give them a close-up angle that isn't often checked right away. So
I think taking A main, if it would be possible for Fnatic, would actually be a really sick play for them. Problem is that they don't know who's there at the moment, and with the mag and just these weapons that they have, it's going to be a really risky battle if there is somebody there. But they need to figure out what's going on here before something happens. NiP just looking for, but the thing is actually NiP are looking for that as well. You can see them like watching for these little aggressions here and there, and being very, very cautious about taking middle. But in comes the play for B, it would seem.
And there's 3 Fnatic players already there as well, so this could be tense as they try and get in. They need to hit their shots. 2 players joining the rush now from the vents as they pour in. Michael Ailey looking for that shot onto Crims, not going to find it just yet. Flushes inside the site, he might catch them off. He's got a shot on Forest, he gets it. He also gets Freiburg. It's looking so good to try and force overtime, but Get Right and Michael Ailey want nothing to do with that. They want to end it right here and now, and Exist does as well as he takes down Crims. So Pronax and Olofmeister are going to have to be magical. They try and spam it away. Bomb is going to be planted. And the angles are all covered off, so it's just a matter of time. Oh! A nice nade, though, evens it up. Pronax with the Pokeball on to Michael Ailey. 2-on-2 now. Get Right backside of Generator. Goes for the spam, can't hit it. Exist does bail him out on Olofmeister. So now it's Pronax on very low HP to try and save this map and go 1-0, but it looks like NiP are Gonna close out on him as Get Right just lets him run around, although he does close out on Get Right. Interesting. Although Exist has the play, he's on the bomb, he's trying to defuse it. Exist does get him just in time, and NiP come out with it. Very, very close, tense match. 16-14 in the end.
What a map. Cash, I can't believe it. So close, all the way back and forth for the entire duration of the match. There was not a single point where either team was not fighting and bringing it back constantly. NiP mounting a comeback. Fnatic couldn't get that last round, and then NiP bring it back again. Just a ridiculous map.
And it all came down to that huge 1v, well, it was 2v3, Existence was still alive, but that 3K by Get Right, holding that bomb when it looked like they had no chance in the round. He picked up the op. If they lost that, the economy went back the other way. It was 14-13 Fnatic, quickly 15-13, and then it was all over. So huge play from Get Right on that particular round.
And Fnatic played that so well as well. They played it basically as perfectly as they could, just by the book, waiting to make sure that the plant went down. And they knew where he was. They knew where Get Right was, but still 1-on-3. Amazing, amazing
start to our semi-final rounds. Of course, the winner of this series goes on to the gold medal match tomorrow. The loser still gets to play for bronze, but with Swedish pride on the line and the rivalry these two teams have, they're going to go as hard as possible in this next map. It is going to be on Inferno. I don't know what to expect at all, but Puckett is on the floor. Let's hear from him with what went on in that match.
Guys, what a ridiculous start to the semifinals, going 30 rounds. NiP is going to strike first blood, but remember, we still could potentially extend to 2 more games. We'll give Fnatic a chance to tie things up with game number 2 in just a little bit. But before we go to commercial break, I want to give a big shout out to ClutchCon. Next weekend here in Colorado, there is a $15,000 CSGO tournament happening in Denver, Colorado, January 30th through the Feb 1st. And of course, we're going to see some huge names, including Fnatic, Cloud9, Kaboom, and Liquid, all making the move over to Denver for next weekend's battle. That, of course, will be available right here on MLG.tv. You can find it at MLG.tv/ClutchCon. We're going to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we have Thorn and Fifth Lauren to break down game number 1, as well as hopefully 2 more games right here on the MLG main stage.